ShinRobjira.
What's going on there, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai movie monster series Godzilla vs. Kong Mechagodzilla, or Monster vs. Mechagodzilla, or Mechagodzilla 5, or Mechagodzilla 2021. Yeah. I was none too impressed when pictures of this thing first shot up this weekend, and you can see right here why. He just, something doesn't look right about this. He just looks a little bit too thick. Thick tin can? First up, we have the tag over here. This is an image of Mechagodzilla that I'm sure we're all very familiar with. Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. Mechagodzilla Monster vs. Godzilla 2021. Looking on the back of the tag, we can see a silhouette of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Kong, movie monster series. And opening it up, we get the same silhouette on the opposite end of the tag over here, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff that I really can't put my finger on, except, well, I kinda can, I just can't read it. And we are sleeving the tin can tag. Tin can tag. Tin can tag. Say that 5 times fast. Tin can tag. Tin can tag. Taking a closer look at this figure, there is so much to talk about. Every single muddled detail from the Playmates figure, which we will be doing a comparison with a little bit later, is out in center here. There is stuff on this figure that I didn't even know existed on this design, especially over here in the face and head area. Honestly, the closer you look, the more impressive it gets. This sculpt, this mold, this design overall is beautiful. The gill-looking panels, the fierce red eye, all of the crazy line and panel work going on over here. It's sublime. And on the top of his hamburger helper looking at head over here, just look at all of that. It's beautiful. And looking at him from the front, though, he doesn't look as cute as the Playmates one did, mostly because this is more so pronounced and, you know, not gobbledygook. But, you know, looking at him like this, do you see kind of what I'm getting at here? He just feels a little goofy, huh? Like, actually, you know what this reminds me of? This is the Welcome to Chili's meme from Vine, immortalized in a Mechagodzilla vinyl figure. Welcome to Chili's. Rest in peace. I mean, just look at all of these intricate little details that are being sprawled out throughout both of these arms. It's magnificent. The panels, the little rivets, like, just take it all in. Look at all of the amazing detail that Bandai crammed into this vinyl figure. It's honestly surprising, but not surprising, but also surprising because holy god, man. I was extremely impressed with the Playmates figure looking at it when it came to the detail, but this, oh man, this detail puts Playmates to shame. Look at all of this. Oh my god, look at this. There's like little lines over here. Like, that's such a minute detail. Like, why even put that on the figure? Why, Bandai? How dare you put so much detail into a Mechagodzilla figure, you fiends? That's a joke, by the way. Just amazes me how much they crammed into the arms alone. Like, son of a mother of a yes, bro. Look at all of that. Oh my god. ShinRobjira for the detail. The Bandai movie monster series simp himself. Holy god, this is something else, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go friggin' all out when it comes to the detail on this thing because it is amazing, and everywhere where the detail just feels like or felt like it just wasn't all there on the Playmates figure, it's all 100% here. The only thing I'm not too crazy about, though, are these hands. And yes, the arms can move. I'm not crazy about how they look, but at the same time, I don't know how good fingers like this would have been as this squishy, malleable vinyl, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like even though it looks lazy and it doesn't look that good, I feel like this was done to prevent any kind of warping or just like really bad anythings from happening. I really lost the words there. Yes, I most definitely would have preferred sprawled out hands like this, but at least the fingertips and everything are all visible there. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of that dead space in between the spaces of the fingers here, but I guess in a more cost-effective way where we don't have to worry about the fingers warping, this is key? I don't know. Yes, it absolutely would have looked a lot better if these were sprawled out, and I'm sure Bandai could have done something else with a harder vinyl of some kind, but I see why they did it, and I'm really not that bummed about it. Now, when I first saw the pictures of this thing, I thought, this is all wrong. This is much too flat, and it is much too wide to really capture the essence of that of Mechagodzilla, and his head just looks too small in comparison to the rest of his body. And yes, I still do feel that way about it now, but looking at the detail and all the paint, I kinda like it. Now, I don't think I really would have taken points off for that, but you just have to remember, I've been looking at this figure for the past couple of months, and to see something so stark and contrasty as this guy's build is, you know, it's a little on the different side, you know? It took some getting used to. But the detail in and of itself absolutely makes up for the little bit, extra wideness that was thrown in on the figure. And in all honesty, I am not going to take points off of a figure for being too wide. What the f*** Mechagodzilla so flat, man? Shit. Oh yes, and I forgot to point out, you can see the rocket launchers on Mechagodzilla's back over here, and you can see them in much, much, much better detail than you could on the Playmates figure. This is something else. And I guess since we're back here, just look at the detail in between these dorsal nubs, these dorsal fins, these dorsal radars, these dorsal antennae, whatever you want to call them. The dorsal fins are properly detailed. The red is where it needs to be. It's a little messy on some, but it's not messy on all of them. Mind you, the outer row over here is only going to be painted red on the one side, while the center row is going to be painted on both sides. Either or, everything being shown off here is extremely nice looking, and I don't think I could truly shop over a complaint when it comes to how this looks. Every inch of this figure is just coated in silver paint with some red and amazing details. Like, even on the tops of his thighs over here, man, look at that. That is just some next level looking detail. And on the thigh, on the kneecap, on the sides over here, even on the back, we got those things that I thought were wheels, but aren't wheels. And you're just going to see so much going on with this figure, and even on the top of the feet, too. That shiz was not there on the Playmates figure, but it's here on the Bandai figure, and it's going to be just about everywhere. Just wow. Like, that is amazing. Truly freaking amazing. I'm not cutting to my face as often because I just can't help but just fawn over all of the detail on this thing. That's amazing. I am very much upset about the lack there of Mechadon. But the detail on the bottom of the tail, though, friends and neighbors, so very nice, and it all comes to a head with the bladed tip of the tail over here, and you will be able to see both blades on the bottom over there. Do I spy some blue paint on my Mechagodzilla? What's all that, Bandai? You know, Bandai, there being blue paint on here, is this a hint to a Godzilla store exclusive where it will be outfitted with blue paint to represent that blue energy that he had as he was kicking Godzilla's butt all up and down Hong Kong? Is that what you're hinting at here? No, it's not what you're hinting at here. I'm just reading too far into things, but I would buy that. But anyway, back on task here. The detail on the tail, the detail's tail. The tail's detail is amazing. There, yet again, is just so much to take in with this, and it really does look fantastic, truly. God, look at the little nubs on the dorsal nubs over here, too. That's great. They really did tackle just about every area on this figure in terms of detail. Yes, this might look a right bit goofy, but I cannot deny that it looks amazing. And look at that. There's even some magnificent detail on the neck and on the bottom of the jaw over here. And from this angle here, you can see a bit into Mechagodzilla's mouth, and you can see those wild-looking tread marks there. Very, very nice. Wasn't expecting to see that. Sorry for the really weird angle, everybody, but I just wanted to show that that very same detail is going to be on the roof of Mechagodzilla's mouth as well. Now, in case some of you blinked and missed it, Mechagodzilla's got two beady red eyes, and he's got red on the frosted tips of his dorsal fins. Detail-wise, I do truly believe that this is probably a Bandai Movie Monster Series best-looking figure of all time. Like, I don't think another figure in the more recent releases of the Movie Monster Series can compare to this one with the cataclysmic amounts of detail that he holds on his body, on his face, and everything. Yes, I absolutely do love that the dorsal fins are painted all the way to the tip of the tail. Thank you, Bandai. Keep doing that from now on, please. I do love that the eyes are painted red, but the chest is sorely missing red, and man, they painted all the dorsal fins to the tip of the tail, so this is how I'm going to do it, everybody. Detail, solid star, as if you'd expect anything else. I'm praising the heck out of this thing. And in terms of paint, screw it. I'm gonna give it another solid star because he's shiny silver. finally, he's shiny silver, and they painted the dorsal fins all the way to the tip of the tail. Look at that. It exists. So articulation is as simple as it's ever going to get. The arms are going to be able to go all the way around like so. The legs are going to be able to go all the way around like so. But unfortunately, the tail will not be able to go all the way around like so at either seam. And I thought the Movie Monster series was going to be working more elbow joint magic with this figure because you see a seam right here. But no, that is not a seam. See? Take a closer look. It's all one piece. And no, you won't be getting anything in the head. Now, before I give my rating on the articulation, I've seen a lot of reports of Mechagodzilla's feet just being a little out of whack, maybe like a little warped or something, but no, there is actually a particular way you're supposed to have the legs. What? I didn't ever think I'd see something like this from Bandai, but there you go. This is not a neutral stance. He does have a bit of a pre-pose stance going on here that will have the feet fully on the ground. So that's an interesting development, because normally when it comes to Bandai Movie Monster series, they're in a neutral stance, but this guy, I mean, I guess you can somewhat call that a neutral stance, but it's not the standard side-by-side stance, and maybe that's just something that they had to do since this is a bit of an unorthodox style of Mechagodzilla, maybe? Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too far into it, but you can even see from the kneecaps over here, one's higher than the other. One definitely has a little bit more of a bend than the other does, and one's a little bit more neutral than the other one is. That's interesting to me. But anyway, I'm being serious and I'm being honest. I'm gonna be honest. Looking at this thing's promo pictures, I thought, okay, maybe 2.5 stars out of 3, maybe even just 2 solid stars out of 3. I thought there would be a half a star somewhere in this figure's equation, but there isn't. The detail wowed me more than I thought it would. The paint and the dorsal fins being painted all the way to the tip of the tail wowed me more than I thought it would. And even though the articulation is as basic as it comes, I'm going to give Bandai Movie Monster Series Monsterverse Mechagodzilla a solid star for articulation, making this a 3 solid star review. Yep, that's right, 3 whole heckin' stars, but before we end this video off, I do have to do this comparison between the Playmates and the Bandai, and man, there is really no contest. Yes, this figure is going to take the cake in terms of articulation and such, but when it comes to paint and detail, I mean, this guy definitely has more of it, but this guy definitely looks better. That's just me, though. I do wish that this section was painted red, kind of like how it's painted here, and that's honestly it when it comes to the paint. Honestly, looking at the Playmates figure, yes, it is amazing, but there's so much dead space on this thing. You got it over here, you got it on the side of the legs over here, you even have it in some areas of the arms over here as well, especially in between the joints. Now, I know that's not something that Playmates can really, like, you know, outwardly handle, but when looking at the Bandai figure from the side, you really don't have any of that dead space going on. It's all filled. It's all detailed. There is no gaps here. You can especially see the major differences in the chest area as well. Now, yes, I know, this is a budget figure. This is $10. This is somewhat of a budget figure. It was $20. The amount of detail between the two of them with a price point that's so similar, it's honestly kind of scary. Again, I was going into this review thinking that I was going to be Playmates fanboy #1, but not the case here. Now, yes, you're going to see certain areas on the Playmates figure that just about handles it so much better, because when you look at the Bandai version, you know, it's a little bit more chunked up, and there's a little bit more dead space over here, as you can see. But for me personally, there really isn't any contest here. From the tips of their tails to their dorsal fins to their backs to the backs of their heads, it's almost like these are 2 completely different figures. So that, in a way, doesn't make me want to pick a favorite, but you know your boy ShinRob Bandai ShinRobjira here is going to pick Bandai over anybody else any day. So with that being said, yeah, I would say that in terms of budget figures, wait a second here. What do we got here? What is this? Uh-oh. I'm seeing some muffed up paint going on over here. I almost missed that. Oh dear. Interesting. Well, it looks like for the first time on this channel, I'm going to have to change my rating. Yeah, we're going to have to bring the paint down to 1/2 star, bringing this to 2.5 stars out of 3, because that is major paint rubbage right there. That is the paint coming off. Oh boy. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting that to bring the spirits down for this review, but there you go, friends and neighbors. There seems to be an issue with the paint rubbing off because, oh man, that looks like it hit some heavy-duty friction there. In fact, oh, hold on. I wouldn't much call this an error, but it looks like they didn't put the back on fully. You can see that there's a bit of a gap there. I'm just seeing this for the first time. And you can see that it looks like the base color for this figure looks like it was originally just a plain white. Very, very interesting. That's a bit of a bummer though, man. I really wasn't expecting... Wow, that kind of sucks. But thankfully, that's just a small paint defect on an otherwise perfectly fine figure. Yeah, you know what, screw it. Back to 3 stars. We're not doing any of that hooligander. Just, unfortunately, friends and neighbors, be on the lookout for some paint scuffs on your figures. I'm not saying it's gonna happen with everybody, but it seems like it could be a possibility. That one minor hiccup aside, though, the Bandai Movie Monsters series Mechagodzilla 2021 is a very, very lovely figure, and if you can manage to nab one for a good enough price, hopefully these things haven't been scalped up the butt yet, I highly recommend doing so. Unless you'd rather hold out for the $150 sham version of this figure, which is a thing and will be releasing in December, you can do that too. But you Bandai heads out there, I know you're out there, I know you're subscribed here too, well, at least some of you. You're definitely going to want to get your hands on this thing. Just be wary, there might be some paint issues. Yeah, that paint scuffage is going to bother me, but it's so very not noticeable. I mean, I practically went the entire review without even seeing it. And again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen with everybody's figure. But either way, I do so hope you enjoyed my review of the movie Monsters Mechagodzilla, and I hope I'll see you all here again tomorrow for my review of the Godzilla Amphibia figure from the movie Monsters series Godzilla Singular Point line. And I can tell you right now, I love this design. Figure could be a little bit better. See you tomorrow, everybody.